All right. Welcome to another episode, our first streamed one of Square Up.
Yeah, I figured it'd be nice to try a live one. Maybe we can get some live commentary and it's hey, it's live. It's happening now. Like I was like maybe it'd be
That's
a nice
right.
change instead of just the recording and the thing is the record it doesn't ever really we haven't made a YouTube yet, so I figured hey, here we go. It's happening right
Oh,
now.
oh, oh! Did I just see somebody pop on, or is that including me?
That's probably including you. I'm
Ah,
I'm I, I'm
disappointment.
viewing myself right now and then there's you, so
Ah,
if it
this
says
is
two
you. We
people
got
or
a whole
whatnot.
two people. That's you and I.
Yeah, nah, if you see three then yeah. Where is my viewer
Okay.
count?
That
Whatever.
little I see. You know I know nothing about Twitch. So what's that 933? Is that how many viewers you've had?
That's how many people have dropped by my profile and seen me.
Nice.
Yeah, I have 34 followers,
Oh, okay.
which is pretty sweet. And I don't really.
Got to
My
start
regular, I
some.
think, is still on vacation. What's her name? Allie.
Gotcha. Oh, right.
So, but
So
it
let's
was
talk about it.
really quick though. The thing was that when I went
Spoilers coming up, by the way.
upstairs to take my poop, the thing was is that there's always something that happens to me when I go up there. Always. I go up
Before,
there
during the poop, before or after the poop?
before,
Oh,
build the suspense up. I go up there and everything, and then there's this moth flying around in the hallway there where the big light is
right.
and everything. My mom's in the bathroom. I'm just like, Mom, you got a friggin' huge moth up here. It's like, oh well, do something about it, kill it. I'm like, all right, okay. Take my shoe off or whatnot, and I slam it against the wall. It was a big moth, and she's like, Jesus, could you like not break the wall down or anything like that? Listen, you're behind a door. You don't see how big this thing is. So,
It's like Mothra ready to fight Godzilla.
in a sense, it was fucking huge. Freaked me out. It took a dive at my face actually when I wasn't paying attention. That's what like started the whole thing. Like, oh god, there's a fucking moth in the living room or the hallway here. I should kill it. So I took off my shoe and bam, nailed it. And the thing was that it didn't stick to my shoe; it stuck to the wall. And my mom was like, oh well, once you get done, or she's like, don't knock the wall down and listen, you better have cleaned that thing up. I'm like, I can't really clean it up because you're in the bathroom. That's where the tissue is. It's where I dump the body and everything. So she opens the door then to let me in. She goes, "Oh my god!" And I was like, "I told you it was fucking huge." Like, so I took care of it. And then I took a
That's
crap
like the
on
other
it.
night. My wife calls me on. I'm trying a game, and she's like, "You gotta see this." And I'm like, usually when I hear that, it's the dog doing something stupid,
You know.
or it's the cat doing something it shouldn't, and she
Rated
leaves
T
it up
for
there
T.
long enough to take stupid pictures of it instead of yelling at the cat. So I go down. She's like, "Look, a moth is taking a shit on the door."
What?
And I'm like, that's exactly my reaction. I'm like, what? I'm like, a moth can't shit, can it? I'm like, maybe I guess a moth can. So I look at this thing, and
I
sure enough, man, there's something like probably the length of my like first pinky knuckle to my tip coming
to
out of
your
it like
to
the
your
moth
tit. I thought you
has.
said to your tit. I was like, hey
No,
now.
tip. Well, that'd be a pretty long shit, but and I'm like, what is that? And it's like this green thing, and I'm like, I think the moth is shitting on my door. It's either that or it's like moth jizz. I don't know.
Hey now.
So, of course, this moth is now gone. My wife tells me, first thing I wake up this morning, she's like, yeah, don't forget to clean the moth shit off the door. And
That's
I'm
not
like,
a
really?
very common item on a person's to-do list.
Yeah. I'm like, great. Can't wait to go Windex that off the door.
It's not
So
coming
you
off.
and I both have giant moths.
Yeah.
It's the end of the world as we know it.
Oh man. And then another thing is that it's really cool to take a dump while you're listening to the Godfather waltz. With the trumpet.
That's interesting.
I did that and it felt pretty cool that
That's pretty funny.
it was pretty cool.
See, I can never take a dump in peace. I have to make sure I lock the door. If not,
Oh yeah,
even
of
if that
course.
door's on a crack, my cat comes in. And that cat, man, I just can't. I can't take a deuce with the cat staring me down.
Hey
And it's
now.
rubbing me, and it's trying to jump on my lap, and I'm like, cat, seriously, like a little privacy. There are boundaries. And then I'll try and pull the toilet paper, and then it's like rah 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 with its paws all yanking the toilet paper. And I'm like, fucking cat.
Just trying to take a shit. Duh.
Like I said before, I've got a Noah's Ark. I've got fucking 4 cats, 3 dogs, and I had 2 ferrets up until one died recently.
No.
It's like, all I need is the Ark, man, and with the floods coming up from the south, I'm ready to go.
Okay. So let's dive into it. What
Spoilers.
showing did you see?
I went the first showing this morning. Now,
Oh wow,
did
you
you
were
ever
psyched.
see the? First off, I preface this by saying I've never read the book.
Neither have I.
I do vaguely remember the original one, which was Tim Curry was kick ass in the original one, but the second half of it sucked ass. It was made for TV,
Oh,
and
so
I
it was
do know about
TV.
the
It wasn't a movie.
no, the original was a TV movie based on the book.
Oh,
Tim
okay.
Curry's the man. He's the man. He was a kick-ass Pennywise, and I'm like,
Oh,
how are
he's
you
a
gonna
great
top
actor.
that? But Skarsgård, man, did a really good Pennywise. He's creepy shit. Of course, we're definitely getting the spoiler territory. So I guess the first question is, did you ever see the original TV movie?
I think I saw like the beginning part of the second. I did not see the first.
I know that the biggest complaint people have is the end of the original one, or it was like they fight. It's like a giant spider, and people are like, "What the fuck is that?" And I saw like at one point, and again, we get into spoilers now for anybody who hasn't seen this. Tune out for like the next probably 5 minutes. Hopefully not, but there's one part you saw where his like hands became look like spider legs, and I think that's a nod to the book. I got to go back and finally read the book, but I know the infamous scene that's never been in any version. Do you know what the original ending of the first half of it, with the kids is in the book? Probably the creepiest thing Stephen King's ever written.
I don't know nothing of it.
The original ending, which they have not touched in any book or adaptation into movies, which you can't. How do you tackle this? Is the kids, all the boys bang the girl, and they have basically an orgy love fest to make the demon go away.
Interesting.
Which you can't really tackle that on film.
No, you can. It's just illegal.
Which is pretty creepy. You can find it if you Google it. If you don't have the book, you can find the passage King wrote, and it is really.
Well,
really
I'm under the
shit.
Wikipedia for the novel now. Let's take a sneak peek.
It's pretty nasty.
Find that shit. No, but I thought it was pretty sweet. Like, being my first It movie, I remember when I saw the trailer, because I remember when I first saw the trailer and I got done watching the trailer, I was just like, oh, wow, this actually looks like it's going to be friggin' good. Like,
I'm just surprised
this is a horror movie.
Oh,
they might be, because the thing was that I liked. I was just like, oh wow, I know this is a horror movie, but I'm like, this is actually something that actually makes me want to go see it. Like horror movies in general to me are kind of a turn off or whatnot. But I saw this, I was like, oh, this looks freaky, scary, and I kind of want to see it. And so I wasn't even gonna go see it originally. Like I just texted Groovy Mike and I was like, hey, you want to grab a drink later tonight? And he goes, oh, I'm taking my daughter Ava to go see it. If you want to tag along with us, I was like, oh, okay.
How old is his daughter?
13, 15.
Wow, I don't know if I would have brought a 13.
There were younger kids there to seeing it. That's
that blows my mind. Dude, I was at a screening one time for Saw, and there must have been, I think, a 7 or 8-year-old kid there, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with these parents, man? I don't get that shit. I'm the kind of dick, and my wife gets pissed. She's like, don't say shit, don't say shit. I'll be the asshole that will say something. I've been to a couple theater showings where there's like a little kid, and it's clearly a movie that a kid should not be at, and I literally will turn and I'll be the asshole, get right in their face and say, "The fuck is wrong with you for bringing your kid here?" I've said that.
My question is, like the actors, because like you heard what some of these kids be saying and everything and stuff, and I think it's some. Who was it? The dude who's in Stranger Things. His character was mad fucking funny, dude.
Yeah.
I want him to be my son. I just remember he goes, man, I can't believe I drew the short straw or whatnot. You guys are lucky that we weren't measuring dicks. He was just so fucking funny. And, oh my god.
Well, for anybody who's not familiar with the book, that hasn't seen the movie yet, doesn't really know it, the best way I can describe this, and obviously this book came along before Stranger Things, but this is literally like
the Stranger Things a book?
Dark. No, Stranger Things is a Netflix series, but I'm saying I think probably everybody's seen Stranger Things by now.
Oh yeah.
But this is like a very, very dark horror version of Stranger Things. That's the way it can be compared. Even though obviously this came long before Stranger Things, but it had that, had a really good vibe to it. You know, which I'm guessing that's probably where Stranger Things, really took its borrowed heavily inspiration. I'm guessing from books like this and Goonies and shit like that.
Yeah. Got like a freaking fly around here. It's fucking annoying.
And
Just looking at
the
dude.
cast was really really good. I actually was looking up on IMDb earlier, and I think a lot of them really hadn't really done much. I know the little girl in that. I think this is like her second movie she's ever done. It's
Let's
like
see.
I like the idea when they use fresh new cast.
Yeah.
That for some of these movies where that instead of the same people you see over and over and over again.
She 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was her
I don't think
fifth
she's really
movie.
right. Well, she did like a couple of shorts, but she hasn't really done much.
Two
Right.
shorts and I guess two films, and then and she's
But
in the.
yeah, really talented. I thought she was good. I thought the whole cast was really good. The fat
Mm.
kid I thought was really great. I loved his
Yeah, the
character.
whole cast was tight, even though some didn't have many lines or whatnot, but they all pulled together very
Yeah.
well. And
Yeah, I thought it was
it
pretty decent.
like the horror, the just the scenes they did to pull off the horror and everything were really perfect and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I thought it was great when the fat kid, I don't want to call him a fat kid. What was
I
his
know,
name?
I know. It
When
was terrible.
Ben was in the library and then he goes down into the basement and then he turns
Yes.
back and he sees someone coming down and then it stops and the thing takes another step and you see it's a headless person. To me, I was like, oh shit, I didn't see that
Yeah.
coming. Actually, like I knew it would be something scary, but I didn't think about that. And the way that body itself just moved and everything and then
Mhm.
chased, like the whole thing was just very good horror wise. It definitely was
Well,
like
I
freaky and
thought
morbid.
the one that to me that was the best version of the creature, I guess.
I guess his name is called Pennywise. I'm seeing that's what
Yeah,
his.
Pennywise the clown. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought
I
his name was it. Okay.
Nah. Well, the book is it, but yeah, but it's Pennywise. But the thing that I thought was the creepiest was the woman with that twisted face. It was pretty
Oh
creepy.
yeah, I was surprised
That
that
had the
she
flute.
bit the kid.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
was
yeah.
weird. I thought that was like a Stranger Things going on, or like pumping something into him or something. Like.
Well, I was really surprised at a couple of scenes. Even though we know it's the creature and they can get away with it. Again, spoiler territory. When he shoots the kid in the head with the bolt, when the kid gets his arm bitten off, that little kid. I was
Yeah.
really surprised. A couple of things where they went there, and I'm like, I like it
It's funny
simply
because
because you don't see that a lot in movies.
yeah, when he shot his already dead brother in the head, like
Yeah,
I was just like he needs to like do that. But like before it happened, I was
right.
like he needs to shoot his brother. He needs to do it.
Yeah,
And he did it, and I was like, "Oh right, fuck yeah, he did it!" Like I was proud of him for shooting his brother in the head with that thing, but I just knew it was something that had to be done for just like the sake of the movie. Otherwise, I
yeah.
just wasn't gonna buy it that much.
I'm really curious of who they're gonna cast for the older versions of those kids when they go to do the sequel.
Yeah, so that was so what? Will chapter 2 that take place 27 years,
Yeah,
26 years
20,
later?
27 years later. Yeah.
You know what I'm willing to bet they'll do that'll be cool? They'll probably actually wait 27 years to make the movie and use the same cast. I
And
would
use the same kids.
at the end of the movie when they made that blood oath, I thought like that would be a cool thing to do. I think that would be the ultimate thing. No more It movies until 27
That's
years
funny.
later, and here's chapter 2.
And pulling Twin Peaks where it's like 25 something years later.
That is, and it's the exact same cast of the kids, but all grown up. I think that would be pretty cool.
That's funny shit. That's funny shit.
That's what they
But
probably should do.
I gotta say, the movie seemed to me pretty flawless. I did have one issue with the blood oath at the end. Okay, if you look at it, they cut their hands, and then they all held hands. I'm like, but they're not all holding hands with the blood mixing together. And then
Yeah,
like you saw visibly one kid pulled his hand away, and there was no blood on his palm. And I'm like,
yeah.
all right, suspension of disbelief. But I was like, I'm a nitpicker with shit like that.
One of my things is that the bully, the kid, I didn't like how like when he was carving that his first initial H into the
Yeah,
kid.
that was pretty fucked up.
Me and Groovy Mike felt the same way. Like that wasn't needed at all for the movie. That wasn't needed at all for that character or what. That was just some twisted thing for the movie itself that it just didn't need. But
You know,
like,
and again, I don't know if that's in the book. I've never read the book, so I don't know.
I
All I
was
have read is a lot of reviews say this is a very faithful adaptation. So I don't know. Maybe that's in the original book.
okay. I just remember thinking like I was okay with him going to shoot the cat because I was like that goes to show how dark this kid kind of is.
Yeah.
And then like, but that I thought was just a little unnecessary. And I was like, I'm not a big blood gory kind of fan. So when that like sink drain shit happened, I was like, oh dear
Yeah.
god. And then
Well,
when
I'll tell you, for
the only thing I could think of is that when it got done spewing everywhere, all I could keep thinking about was, it's like, man, if her father comes in, he should so fucking say, I guess you really needed that box of tampons after all. Like, that's all I kept thinking about. Like, goes
well,
to stupid
that's the thing
places.
that creeped me out is being a father having a daughter. That whole relationship that
That
fucking
was whack.
creeped
Yeah.
me
What was with
out.
it? Every single old person who was a parent or an adult in this town, besides the cop who got killed, you know, that father, every other
They're all
parent and adult,
seedy.
yeah,
They're
were
all
all
assholes.
child molesters and everything. Like,
Or you know, yeah, it was just weird. I don't know. Again, it makes me want to go back and read the book.
yeah, and I'm not a big reader.
But well, there's a book on tape. But yeah, because
Good point.
I don't know what the deal is with that. Because like I said, I have to go back and look at the original TV adaptation. But just from memory serves me, this is very different from that.
Mm.
Different in a good way. But yeah, I don't know. It was interesting though. Definitely a great movie. Loved it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I
That was
recommend
really
everybody to see that shit. Actually, when I went
yeah.
to the bar later on for dinner and stuff with Groovy Mike and Ava, I went up to the bar to get my first beer, and I heard someone say something about it, and I was like, "Oh, you guys talking about the movie?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh, did you go to see it?" Like, "No, we were thinking about going." I'm like, "I just saw it. You should totally go see it. It was awesome." And actually, right now, I don't know if you're still looking at my stream, but I'm on IMDb. It's an
Yeah.
8.2 out of 10, and that's
Nice.
just today. What it released today or yesterday? That's pretty
Yep.
good.
Thursday I think it opens some places.
Oh yeah. I heard there were secret screenings and stuff that
Yeah.
Groovy Mike's
I'm
friend
really
went and saw
curious to
it.
see how much money is gonna. They're predicting big money at the box office, and I haven't read anything bad about it at all.
Yeah, no, it's pretty good. I wouldn't mind because it was good because it had horror, but the kids together
Yeah.
and their friendship made it just like
Yeah.
enjoyable too. It wasn't just constantly trying to be scary. It knew to be
Right.
scary and then take a break, do some character development, have the audience attached to the characters, and then here's some more horror. Like I liked its pace.
Right. Right.
And yo, I loved the new Kids on the Block shit. Like,
That was hysterical.
cause it's funny. I listened to Step by Step by New Kids on the Block a few years ago. Like, I always loved Dance to that and everything. That was kind of like my Backstreet Boys song and everything and stuff. And so like, when I'm hearing that, when I hear like, oh my god, is this New Kids on the Block? I knew exactly what the hell like everyone should have been thinking and everything and stuff.
That's funny.
That's how I was
That's
like, yo,
funny.
Ben is my character right now.
That's really
And I
funny.
loved it when she closes the door. And it was a poster of the Backstreet Boys. He's like, nah, close the door, close the door. She closes it back over so no
Wow.
one sees the poster.
Well, it's interesting. Like I said, what I liked about this movie is it definitely captured the flavor of that age. I mean, I graduated
Yeah.
in '89. So I mean, shit. I would have flashed up June '89, and just to see. I love like when they showed the marquees and it was like one of the Nightmare on Elm Street 5 and just the different movies. I'm like I could relate to that. I mean even like Stranger Things really I think does a great job of capturing that era. And even like in one of the more recent movies, it was a couple years back, was J.J. Abrams' Super 8. If you haven't seen that one, I love it. It's got
No,
the
I
same
wanted to
kind
see.
of vibe.
That's what is it? I had Samuel Jackson in it, right? Jeff Bridges. Excuse me.
No, I don't think they're in it. I'm trying to remember now who's in the cast on it. Don't. Elle Fanning's in it. Kyle Chan. Let's see. Yeah, no, they're not in it.
You'll
But
float
it's
too.
another kind of coming of age thing with a sort. I don't want to give it away, but it's set in summer of '79. And man, I could look at that movie, especially because one of the kids wants to be a filmmaker, and I'm like, man, it feels like me when I was a kid. I could be in that. I could be in that scenario.
Mm.
But great, great movie. Those are the kind of movies that I love when they put them out. It really captures the feel, the time, the time and era that they take place in. But yeah, this was good. I think the cast was really really good, really strong casting.
Really
I
was.
definitely dug it.
One of the things that what was it? One of the things I think made it a little scary, like the thing itself, why it is scary, is like how some of this shit just happens in broad daylight. I think most
Yeah,
of it did.
I like that. The fact that not everything was in dark and it could happen anywhere. I thought that was pretty cool.
That I think is something that helped breed the horror itself.
Yep, yep. And I'll tell you, the other thing that I thought was interesting is they showed a good string of horror movies that are coming out in the trailers before it, and it looks like some good stuff coming out. All of a sudden it
They
looks like
didn't
there's a
really
good
show any
surge
horror
lately
in
of some
mine.
horror.
They
You
didn't
didn't
really.
see any horror?
They didn't have really horror trailers in my thing,
Oh, it was
unfortunately.
all horror trailers before the screening I saw. They got one.
Mine. You go ahead.
I was gonna say they got one movie coming out. And I can't think of it. I think it's called Happy Death Day. I think it's called. It's coming out on
Yeah.
October.
Okay. Yeah, I
13th.
saw that trailer. That was
Like
pretty cool.
Groundhog's Day with a murder twist. I'm like, that
That's
was really
exactly what
entertaining.
Groovy Mike said. I'm like, yeah, because I saw the trailer a couple times on the internet and stuff, so I did see that one.
Yeah, that
And
looked pretty good. It looked like there's some good stuff coming out, though. I'm like, all right, I can get into this, because for a while there's been a string of like the paranormal activity kind of style.
Oh
movies.
Christ, those things suck.
Bullshit over and over. It's like with this really bad CG, ghosts that move like a certain way, and I'm like, enough already,
Yeah.
But it looks like we're starting to get some, different types of movies coming out, which is
Well,
cool.
I'm praying. I'm gonna look it up right now. Actually, the Halloween remake. I'm very confident John Carpenter is involved with it, so I very much can't wait to
I don't
see
know
how that happens.
involved. He's executive producer, but
They got a lot of say.
I hope it's good. I mean, they really did. I love Rob Zombie, but those movies were shit.
Yeah.
They were really bad.
Oh, all right. So it'll be coming out next year, I guess, is what John Carpenter's saying. He casually announces a new Halloween in 2018. Time to freak out. Ah! Let me see.
I'd like to.
Because I knew.
Movie too.
Well, there was the remake that happened a couple years ago. That was
well, they shelved one.
What?
They were working they were on pre-production for New Friday movie, and when
Actually, it's funny you say that because the first sentence, Paramount shelving the new Friday the 13th so soon before production was supposed to begin, came as a somewhat sudden disappointment. But to paraphrase,
from what I read, that was because The Ring didn't do well.
Mm-hmm.
From what I had read, and for some reason, I don't know how one's connected to the other, they pulled the plug on Friday.
Well, this is what it said, but to paraphrase Julia Andrews, when Hollywood closes a door, somewhere they open a window, and as it turns out, that window was a new Halloween movie, which already has a director, screenwriter, a studio, a release date, and quite possibly a score from the horror master himself, John Carpenter. So that's pretty nice, because, I mean, we already had the Freddy Krueger remake, we had already a Friday the 13th brought back. Well, I guess you could say that this Halloween will... I guess we could say there have been more Halloween remakes in this generation than any of those others, because we had Rob Zombie's two shitty ones, but this one, thank goodness, left John.
I mean,
Carpenter.
look, the first half of the first Rob Zombie one, I like if it wasn't a Michael Myers movie, because the problem I had with those movies, you demystified Michael Myers. He was a force of nature. He was pure evil.
It was just meant to be unknown, and here's what's happening.
Humanize him, that's what ruined it.
Yeah. I just liked Dr. Loomis. The actor that they...
He's awesome.
Yeah, the actor that they had portraying Dr. Loomis in the new ones was okay, but I felt
but the
like
original,
Donald Pleasance, no one can ever beat Donald Pleasance.
Is the shit, man. He's awesome.
But the actor who did Donald Pleasance, I don't blame him. I blame probably the screenwriting and maybe the director.
Right.
Maybe it could be the actor.
Yeah, Malcolm McDowell.
Yeah, I didn't like it how they made his... Yeah, they made his character a psychiatrist at first, which is cool. But then it was like in the second one, and I think a little bit in the first, you could see like he was just kind of like I don't know, like a loser. He just kind of was. I knew in the second one he was just like, oh my god, I'm sick and tired of this Michael fucking Myers bullshit and stuff. I hate that like he snapped under like his own success of the patient that he worked on and everything. I didn't like that because that just wasn't like.
And then they kill him off too. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, did they kill him? I think they might have killed
In
him
the
in the
second
second one,
one,
right?
yeah.
Okay. I only saw it the
I
one
think,
time, and I was just like, "This is so
yeah, it was, or
bad."
I think it was the second one. I don't know. They're forgettable. Those movies. But the other problem I got
Yeah.
with Rob Zombie is everything he gets all into that white trash stuff, and everything's fuck this, fuck that, cunt this, cunt. I'm like enough
Yeah,
already.
it's just a yeah. He just makes people dirt bags, and it's not even
You know.
about horror. It's just everyone's a
Yeah.
scumbag.
But the Friday remake, on some level, I liked it with the exception of the ending.
I kind of remember it, and it wasn't bad.
It was, yeah. What I liked it was a smart Jason. They kind of explained how he got around the camp, which I thought was interesting. You know, he wasn't yet the supernatural killer. So I kind of dug what they did with him. And I think it was a pretty good reinvention. I mean, unlike the Texas Chainsaw movies, man, it's like every goddamn one of the sequels of those, one has been worse than the other.
Yeah.
Except the only good one in recent years, I thought, was the first one with Arlie Ermy in it that they remade, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Then they did a prequel to that, which was
Well,
just
you know what? I'm
horrible.
willing to bet that's what it is. Why there's been such a surge of remakes is because sequels have been coming such shit. So they're like, oh, we'll just
Mm-hmm.
remake the first one and we'll just relive off of the success. But then you start
Well, I
remaking
saw
them
a
and they're like,
trailer. They have Flatliners coming out. That's a
yeah,
remake.
yeah, that's what Groovy Mike said too. And I was just like, I never even heard of Flatliners, but from the sound of your
Yeah,
voice,
yeah.
it's not important.
I mean, it's one of those movies where some people love it. Some people, it had a great cast, but I'm not a big fan of the original. But I gotta admit, based on the trailers, this new interpretation looks pretty good. I'll probably check it out. But yeah, it's like enough with the remakes. Just get some new, fresh material out there. Enough with remakes already.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
I mean,
just
go with
over and
another
over.
It when that time's right, and I need this Halloween remake, because
Yeah, I'm wondering what they're gonna do with that. Where that's gonna, where it's gonna fit in. Is it a reboot? Is it, some rumors have been, and I don't know if it's true, but some rumors have been that it's gonna pick up after either part one or part two.
what's that?
That there's this new one.
Oh, the Halloween.
Yeah, some rumors have it that
Oh
it's going to
wait.
pick up, which would be interesting if they did
Oh
that.
yeah, I
Although
was
it kind of
hearing
feels
that.
like a cheat because they already did that with Halloween H2O, pretended that everything after part two never existed. So it's
They
kind of like,
did. I mean, I knew they
yeah,
didn't mention it, but I didn't think it was like them
when
trying to
they
sweep it
brought
under the
Laurie
rug.
Strode character back in Halloween H2O, they pretended that everything from part three up until that point didn't exist.
Oh wow, that's I don't know how you can do
Yeah,
that because like
yeah,
4 and 5 were great. I mean, 4 was great,
yeah.
5 was pretty good, and Halloween 6,
It got really weird.
yeah, like
That's when they introduced the Man in Black and all that shit.
which I see, I get and understand everything in that whole movie, but they fucked it up because in the trailer they were telling it from a satanic cults thing,
Right.
and then like after the trailer
They were witches and everything.
they switched it all up. They took that out and they just made them evil doctors, and it wasn't even a satanic cult anymore. So,
Well, you know the story behind that, right?
oh yeah, the curse of Thorn and everything and things, but
No, but I'm saying you know what happened. I don't know if you know the whole history. That movie, now they finally released it. You can get it. There's two versions of that movie, completely different versions.
what is the
When
other
they
one where they
originally,
have the cult and everything?
yeah, yeah, oh yeah, it's all.
Okay,
The
good,
second,
because
the second one's
that's
much better.
that yeah, that's what it was originally supposed to be, and then they switched it up, and
Yeah, because they originally shot the movie, and then about halfway into it,
they
they decided to go a completely different direction and scrapped it and reshot all different movies.
yeah, it was so stupid. Because I
But
like the
there's a
magic that they
it's
played
better.
behind it too a little bit at the end. How he, because I saw like the scene on YouTube, the deleted scene that they changed, where, um, uh, was it no? His name's not Tommy. What was his name? That Paul Rudd played his character.
Oh yeah, I
Or
can't.
was it
I know what you're
Tommy?
talking about. But might have been.
I think it
I think
might have been
yeah, there were.
Tommy.
Yeah, I think Tommy
Okay.
Loomis. I think it was Tommy Loomis,
Okay. Well, I knew
as
Tommy.
opposed to the Tommy from Friday the 13th.
Yeah, well, I knew Tommy. He set like a little spiritual trap, and Michael walked in it, and when he was about to kill him, and he trapped Michael Myers, and then they got to escape. Dr. Loomis saved him, and then they leave, and Dr. Loomis goes back in to see Michael or whatnot, but Michael was gone, and it was it was Wynn. It was Dr. Wynn who was under the mask. He switched places with him so Michael could escape, and he cursed Dr. Loomis to be Michael's new warden now or something like that. I mean, as far as I think that original whole cut was so much better than what actually was put out in theater.
Yeah, well, they
Just
finally
'cause-
released. It was a bootleg for years, but now when they released the box set with all the Halloween movies, they finally released a second cut that you can actually get it.
Good.
I have it. You know, I think it's a much better cut than the original theatrical.
Yeah, because the cult tied better into everything for Michael's end.
I mean, it's not like the first time weird stuff like that happened. It's like when they did was a number of years back, Exorcist: The Beginning. They shot one movie, the entire movie, they scrapped it, and then they completely reshot another completely different movie. And so there are two completely different versions of that movie.
Of The
Both of them,
Exorcist,
in my
the original?
opinion, sucked. No, it was Exorcist: The Beginning,
Oh.
and then there's another completely, totally different cut. There's two cuts of that movie that are 99% of them are different from my recollection. It's been a long time, but neither one of them were any good. I mean,
Yeah.
look, the only Exorcist movie that was good, the first one's great,
Mhm.
and I really do have a special place for the third one because I love the dialogue in the third one.
I
Part
only saw
two,
the
it took me
first.
years to be able to sit through because I would fall asleep every time because the second one's just horrible.
I've just only seen the first one.
Yeah, oh, that one's great. Creepy. I think that's still creepy as fuck. But yeah, trying to think of what other stuff that's coming out. You got now they're bringing Saw back again, which honestly I don't really care about.
Yeah, I was never a Saw guy. I thought it was just a bunch of
I am
blood
looking
and
forward
gore.
though. It's next month. There's a new Chucky movie. I like the last
Really?
one a lot.
There's gonna be a new
Yeah.
Chucky? Is it still
Cult
gonna
of
be
Chucky?
the
Well, the last
Chucky?
one they did direct to DVD. It was the last one, and now there's another one direct to DVD. But the new one's Cult of Chucky, and it continues from the last one where
It's
they brought
Cult of Chucky?
Cult of Chucky. Yeah, the last one was called Curse of Chucky, and it was direct to DVD. And at the very, very ending, they brought back Andy from the original, and it's the original actor that played him also. And now the new one continues.
Wait, the original actor? The original actor isn't like dead or just friggin' old as shit?
No, they brought him back. But yeah, the last one was actually really good, and it was one of those cases again where they basically ignored a bunch of the Chucky movies before that.
But wasn't the original Chucky though? It was a killer out in the streets and
Yeah,
magic
he got
happened
killed.
and there was a
Right.
detective and that was
And there was a little Andy, and actually Andy was in. They brought him back. It wasn't the same actor, but it was I think part 3. Andy, or either part 2 or part 3. He went to like boot camp, and they had the same character again. And then we haven't seen Andy because they went into Bride of Chucky and Son of Chucky, or not, it was Seed of Chucky. You know, where Chucky had a son. So now this new one, the last one kind of ignored like a couple of the sequels, and sort of went back to its roots. It was actually a really good movie, and now this latest one, Cult of Chucky, continues from the last one.
Charles Lee Ray. That was the dude's name.
Yeah, and it's still voiced by the same guy, Brad Dourif.
Oh, wasn't he in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest? Yeah, he was. Oh, he was also in... Oh, wow, that's the dude. He was the sheriff in the remade Halloween movies, and he was in Lord of the... Oh, he was Wormtongue in Lord of the... Holy shit, look at that.
Yeah.
Good friggin' actor.
Yeah, Brad Dourif. Done a lot of good stuff.
Very interesting. Now, where's the dude that was...
Played Andy.
Is it who I'm thinking of? She's right here. Alex Vincent?
Chris
No,
Sarandon.
not the...
Chris Sarandon, man, is the man in.
No,
who's the vampire?
it's the...
Fright Night. One of my favorite vampires.
Oh, yeah, all right. This is him. Wow, he looks different now.
Andy Barclay played Alex Vincent.
No, it's Chris Sandron.
No, that's
Or
he
Sarandon.
was the cop in the original, Chris Sarandon.
Yeah.
But no, it's the kid that's in the new ones.
Oh, he's
Alex
the
Vincent.
cop now.
No. Alex, go back.
All right.
Alex Vincent played Andy. Was the little kid in the original.
Yep.
they brought him back now as an adult at the very end of the last Chucky movie, and now he's one of the main characters in the new Chucky.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, Andy's the original kid for the whole first movie was based around.
Oh, okay. I see The Curse of Chucky in 2013 and Cult of Chucky. Oh, yeah, he's playing the same character.
Yeah, and it's the original actor. They had that character, and I think it was either part 2 or 3, but it was played by another actor. It was like he went to boot camp or something, or military.
Oh my God! And Jennifer
like
Tilly is still involved with them. How?
Oh yeah, she still plays Charles Lee Ray's girlfriend.
How? I just don't get that. How did she get out of her body, out of the doll, and back into her body?
Well, that's my point. They are ignoring some of the sequels.
Oh, okay.
So like basically, Curse of Chucky. The last one, I think, basically ignored all the Bride and Seed of Chucky movies. It ignored all of those.
Okay.
Which they didn't acknowledge, but it basically ignored them. And I hate that. To me, that's just bullshit storytelling, but you know.
Yeah, you should just call it a remake instead of make a sequel. And
yeah. Well, they were going to remake it at one point, and then they decided just to continue it. But yeah, I'm looking forward. It's October. It comes out, I believe, Friday the 13th.
Cult of Chucky?
I think is when it comes out. Or October 3rd, maybe. It's soon.
Cult of Chucky?
It comes out. Cult of Chucky, yeah.
November 2nd.
Oh, it's November 2nd? Originally it was October. Oh, that sucks.
Yeah,
Now I
must
gotta
have
wait
pushed it
a
back.
little longer. But yeah, so, and the trailer looks pretty good for it. I think it takes place in a mental institution now. I think
that's what it was looking like, yeah. I'm still looking forward to Halloween. That's my biggest thing. Those are my horror movies, Michael Myers.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'll tell you, that would be... You know, what's interesting is that, you know, you look at like Friday the 13th, the game. And I think one of my favorite horror games in recent years was Until Dawn. Have you played that one?
Until Dawn.
That's a play. Oh, you're an Xbox, PlayStation exclusive.
Oh, okay. I didn't get it then.
One of the best horror games in recent years. And I would, you know, that's a game that's so good. I'd love to see them make that into a movie. And actually, Larry Fessenden was the writer for that game. And they're doing the sequels, Inpatient, which is a PSVR exclusive. It's prequel actually. But anyway, the point is, I would love to see them do a video game, same kind of setting, man. Somehow where it's some remote place and you're the players and you're all trapped in this big expansive location and you got to just evade Michael Myers the entire time. I think that would just be friggin' badass. You know, somebody did a really cool Halloween game.
Ooh, this looks like... It looks like I found maybe like fan made. I'll put this in the Discord.
Yeah, I was gonna say that looks like it's got to be a fan made.
Or yeah, you're watching me see it. It's okay. To say, it looked kind of cool. Wow, really?
H2O.
There we go. Donald Pleasance. Oh yeah, I think Christopher Lee was. They wanted him, I think, maybe as the Doctor. I think at first, maybe.
He was awesome.
I just know that Donald Pleasance, he was the third choice, or he was at least the third actor they went to that did play him. He was just perfect.
Some of the old guys. You figure Christopher Lee is gone, Donald Pleasance is gone for years. Damn.
Donald Pleasance just rocked. He made the whole thing, really. He did. He tied it all together.
You know, it's interesting. It's like, you know, you think about it, man. I think that might be the only case where there's ever been a horror franchise with the same exact recurring hero the entire time.
Yeah.
In basically all, you know, and honestly, had he not died in real life, I think he probably would have kept doing them because, you know, it seemed like from what I always read, he loved playing that character.
It's pretty good. This is a bloody but cute picture here. I don't know if it's caught up yet with The girl's name's
Danielle
Jamie.
Harris.
Thank you, Danielle Harris. She's hot, man.
Yeah,
Now,
I met her once years ago. It's pretty funny. Good
no way,
story.
really? What was she
When
like?
we did Fear of the Dark, we were going on convention circuit. You could probably, I don't know, you could probably Google Danielle Harris Light and Dark, or it'll probably pop up. I think it's on my website somewhere. Anyway, we were going around. We had the guy dressed as the Black Rose Killer from my movies, and we'd go. We were taking celebrity pictures and just going around the cons and stuff.
Mm.
So I'll never forget. We had the fake axe, and we walked up to her, and she freaked out, and
Good or bad?
like freaked out bad.
Ooh.
And and then I walked up to her, explained who I was, and she calmed down. She's like, okay. And she's like, look, she goes, I'm sorry. She goes, yeah, no problem. Take a picture with you guys or whatever, the whole thing. And she explained to me, she goes, the reason why she was so freaked out, she had been stalked
Yeah,
by
that
a
would
fan.
surprise me.
And the idea that somebody was, in this holding a potential weapon and she didn't know who it was, it just totally bugged her out.
Yeah,
But
that doesn't
once
surprise
it
me.
got past that, I met her bunch of times over the years at cons, and what just a really really cool person. Really cool person.
Oh, that's
Really
nice.
nice.
I would like to meet her someday. Just to like, well, say I should probably meet Jamie Lee to ask what Donald Pleasant's like, because when I watched Halloween 4, I watched it with the commentary, and she was like, I do kind of remember working with Donald and stuff, and she goes, the one thing I just remember though when we were making the movie, I just remember the smell of his coat or his cologne or something. She said that was the only thing I really remember when I'd be shooting with Donald is that.
That's pretty funny.
It's a weird thing to remember, but all right, Danielle, whichever you say, it was your career then.
Nah, that's good stuff though. Yeah, but she was pretty cool. I'm just looking to see. Do I have the? I think I picture with her. Probably do. I know I have. Here we go. I don't have the character one hand, but let's see if I can I post this in Twitch. Can I post a photo? Will it work?
Mm-hmm.